love lasagna. But what does that have to do with video production? Let me tell you, you can think of editing your business video content as like creating the layers of a lasagna. And we all love lasagna. You can even have a veggie lasagna, I'll allow it. That's because it's all in the layers. Bear with me, let me take you through it. So you have your raw footage, it's key, it's a key ingredient to this, but it doesn't matter if you've sat down like I do and you're just rambling at the camera, or if you have taken lots of little clips and you're gonna smush them together to create your video. Either of these can be used. Many other options can be done as well for your video. This is going to be a basic lasagna. Let's roll. This is your first meaty layer. Don't be stingy. Our first layer is prepping our clips. We're going to get them ready, looking beautiful, before we move on to all the little additional bits we're going to add in. So this is cleaning up the beginning of our clips, the end of our clips. If you are just sitting down, pressing record and speaking, and you want to cut out any of those awkward pauses or any this is the time to do that. You want to make sure these clips are as pristine as possible so that you don't have to do this later down the line when you've already added all the other bits to your lasagna. It's your first layer. It's got to be correct. If you're a bit more advanced, at this point you can also do some basic color correction, do all those other lovely little tweaks, maybe add a filter. This is where you want to go and do that, all before you start adding all your other gubbins. We're now on to our first layer of pasta. We don't judge if you soak your pasta before. If you don't, we're a no soak pasta family. We just bang it in dry and then you just cook it for ages and it'll be cooked by the time you pop it out. But if you want that additional step, go for it. But you're putting your pasta on your meat. This is where we're at, and this is when we're gonna check our audio. Make sure our audio's good, it's clean, there's no random happenings in the background that could really take your audience out of the moment. This is also the point where you can add your voiceover, and then captions are to follow. If you're using an editor such as CapCut and then uploading it to a platform like Instagram or TikTok, not so much LinkedIn, I would suggest doing your captions in platform rather than in your editor, just so that the SEO works for you, particularly on TikTok. Now it's time for our white sauce. Again, no judgment whether you are making it from scratch yourself or using a jar, whatever works for you. Just at this layer, we are now adding our graphics, whether that's additional text graphics giving more information, whether that is GIFs, whether that is like the stickers you find on Instagram. All of this will be added at this point. Again, if you're using an editor and then uploading to a platform where you can add graphics natively, I would suggest at least for text, do it there rather than in the editor. Same rules apply with captions for SEO, search, all that jazz. And you could, in fact, actually just stop at this layer, bang on some cheese, pop it in the oven. It's a bit of a sad lasagna, but in terms of video, it could do the job. Now, if you want to move on, if you want to beef up that lasagna, let's go on to the next step. This is our second meaty layer, and this will be our music track. Now, be careful what music tracks you are using. Do not be infringing on copyright if you are using video for commercial purposes. The platforms don't like it, you won't like it when you get slapped with a fine later down the road. And the other thing to note is that you don't want your music track to overpower any speaking audio that you have played with earlier. It needs to be as subtle as you can get it. I try and get it as quiet as I possibly can, so that if there is any pauses, you can just hear like a little tinkle of something, but really it's not the focus of the video. If you're using a trending sound, this might be a layer that comes a lot earlier than at this point. We're starting to get there. We're gonna add our second layer of pasta, and this is where we're gonna rewatch our video. We need to go back and check, one, the audio's good, two, the graphics make sense, and you're not clipping your captions with your graphics, and you're not crowding your frame either. Don't be crowding your frame. But go back, rewatch it, tweak any little bits that you think need a little bit more pizzazz. You should almost be sick of your video by the point you are uploading it, because you need to be checking. Get that quality in there, check every point. It's fine. It's not for you, it's for everyone else. You can be sick of it. Good. Pasta on. This will be our last layer of white sauce and will be nearly ready. At this point, if you are inclined to, make a thumbnail. If you're doing this in platform, great. If you're using an editor like CapCut, you can make your thumbnail. It's to the left of your timeline. Very helpful, tells your audience if they're on your profile what exactly that video is about. And now sprinkle your cheese. I am a good cheese sprinkler. I will put on a generous amount of cheese, maybe an unnecessary amount of cheese. I like it cheesy. And that is where you export your video if you're using an editor. If not, you are getting ready to post it. And once you've banged it in the oven, you can post it. Get it uploaded, make it live. Well done. Those are your layers of video editing. And there you go. You've got a delicious lasagna video edit completed, and it is ready to go. And for those with more experience, you may want to add in a few little extra layers. You may want to do some additional little fun bits. But for this, we'll keep it simple. We do go into more detail about the editing process during our DIY video content course with Creative Canids, but I like to give you these little helpful notes on our good old platforms to get you started when you're not quite sure where to go. And if you have any more questions about video editing, video content in general, pop them in the comments. I will get back to you. And if there are any other video related topics you'd like me to touch on, again, leave them in the comments, send me a DM. More than happy to do that. And I will see you in the next one.